Hey everyone, this is Brett with Wolves Across the Pond, and it's official. Julen Lopetegui is gone. It's very crazy to say that, but I wanted to make a video just sharing some of my thoughts. It's funny, it's actually late here in the US. It's about 10 p.m. and I've really been stewing on this all day today, and then when we found out yesterday, and I wanted to put a video out sooner, but there's just so much information to dissect that I really wanted to give it some time to marinate in my mind, I guess, before speaking about it. So let's talk about it. So as I said, Julen Lopetegui has left Wolves, and I think there's quite a mixed reaction. Obviously, a lot of fans are not sure what to think. A lot of fans are angry at one side or the other, being Julen Lopetegui or Fosun or Jeff Shee. And I just wanted to talk about a lot of the things I have heard as I've listened to this story unfold and how my opinion on the matter has changed. So in some of my previous videos, I had talked about Julen Lopetegui and how I thought that he was the manager for us, and that with this squad and his leadership, I wasn't worried about the team, that he could get us through, keep us up, no problem. However, now that I have seen how everything has transpired and listened to a lot of people kind of more on the inside talking about this, I can now see things that I had missed in his behavior and basically early signs that he was giving us that I didn't pick up on and a lot of other people didn't pick up on. And that now we're starting to hear more about him as a manager in his treatment of the players and how he was to work with. And I'm not saying all the blame is in his court, but a lot of stories are coming out now about this situation, and I think it gives basically like it provides like a big magnifying glass for us now. Obviously, hindsight 2020, we can look back and say, oh, okay, I missed that, but now I see. And that's very much how my mind feels right now. So basically, what I have heard from different people that are closer to the team and the organization is that obviously he'd been wanting to go for a while. And Fosun was either aware of this or they also wanted him out, whether they felt they were paying him too much, whether they felt he was too vocal and that he was like too disagreeable for them as a manager. It seems like there was a lot of mutual we don't like each other between those two parties, between Lopetegui and Wolves, or Fosun, I guess. But neither wanted to budge, and they both kind of wanted to fight for the best deal, so they held out. And now I think it's a lot more clear why we weren't able to sign players before, because they didn't want to spend, because they probably didn't want Lopetegui to have what he wanted. They felt, well, we don't really want him here, so let's provide him some incentive to leave, which obviously stirred the pot. And at the same time, he really hasn't seemed like he's wanted to be here. And I don't know how I didn't pick up on that sooner, but it's very interesting to look back now and say, like, man, how early did he want to go? You know, it really seems like his heart wasn't in it. He's been complaining a lot. And I don't necessarily want to bash anyone, but I definitely get the vibe that maybe he felt a little too big for his britches here at Wolves. And it's a shame because people were very excited to have him. He's a well-respected manager. And Wolves felt that, hey, you know, here's a world-class manager that can take care of us. But now that I look back, even at the beginning, look how hard we had to work to get him here in the first place. That leaves a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Like, I want a manager that wants to be here. You know, I want a manager that is proud to manage Wolves. This is a storied organization. You know, the more I learn about this team, like, the more passionate I get and the more I care, and I want someone that feels that, you know. I tweeted out earlier today that, you know, I don't care if we have the most storied manager in the world. I want someone that wants to be here, that believes, that respects the badge, and that will bring some passion to the pitch for us. And at first, I felt that from Lopetegui, like when he celebrated after his first win. That was magic, you know, seeing him like pump his fist, like, yes, he had done it. He's like maybe the first Wolves manager ever to win their debut game, or at least in a long time. And that was a magical moment, seeing him come out on the field with his arms stretched. But looking back, it's like, oh, like, why did he come? It took forever to get him here. And it seemed like he had passion at first, but then that kind of tapered out, and then the complaining started, and maybe he just felt like he was too big for Wolves. That's a shame. And, you know, I wish him all the best, but I just feel like we've lost out, you know. It really does hurt the fans and the club that this situation has transpired as it has. And obviously, you know, every conflict has two sides. You know, obviously he's trying to do what's best for him and his career. And obviously Fosun are trying to do what they think is best for their long-term strategy. But it's just tough to see. However, and this is going to be a huge turn on the mood of this whole video, I am thrilled at our position right now. Maybe I'll eat my words later. Maybe I'll look back on this 6 months from now and say, Brett, what were you thinking? But right now I am tremendously hopeful. I'm excited, and I'm ready for what comes next. We play Manchester United on Monday, I think. And I cannot wait to see our boys go out there and give it to them, because I think they can. I think we have an athletic squad. I think we have a powerful squad. You look at how they played in the preseason, amazing. And a lot of people are saying they played their best that last game, probably knowing that Lopetegui was already out, and that's why they played so well. And that's one of the rumors that makes me the most upset, is his treatment of players. Apparently he was prickly, unapproachable, he'd lock himself away. And you saw how much he ragged on this team, on these players, like saying that they're not good enough for the Premier League, he needs more. And like, how much verbal abuse can you take as a player? You know, these are great players, and it's just a shame that they've been knocked back. But you know, I hope that gives them some fire. I'm gonna back these guys. I'm gonna cheer for them. I'm so excited to see him play, especially now that Gary O'Neill's coming in. I know a lot of people are upset about his appointment, and I know that, like I said before, he doesn't have the most storied career in all of football, but Wolves has taken chances like this before, and they have succeeded. And I think that this is one of those, even if, you know, we don't have the best record in the league, which probably we won't. Even then, I feel like he's going to come in, he's going to show us that he does want to be here, that he does have something to prove after getting sacked by Bournemouth. I think that he's going to come in with some fire, the same fire that these players have. At least that's my hope, that they'll just be ready to play, that they'll be ready to just go in full bore against all odds and just give it to these other teams that aren't expecting it from Wolves, because no one expects us to do well this season. And I know that we can. And I think that if our boys just keep that fire, keep heart, play like they did in the preseason. You know, I see videos of these guys, just the togetherness that they have in the locker room, talking about they're each other's best friends, laughing. You see that companionship there between, especially Kuna, Gomez, and Nunes. Like, watching those three interact is just, it's awesome. And I think that's something we saw translated on the field, how they move together. They're in sync. They look like they're having fun playing, especially in that last game. And I think that Gary O'Neill is someone that can come in and play off that and match that energy and say, you know what, I did what I was supposed to for Bournemouth. They didn't appreciate it. Let's get this done, you know? So I love an underdog story. That's what we are right now. But I think we're less underdogs than people actually think we are. I think we have a great team of players, and I think that this new manager that's coming in is going to treat them well. He's going to respect them. Apparently, he came into the conversation very prepared. Apparently, he knew a lot about the players, their play style, and his plans for the team were supposed to be very impressive. So I just cannot wait to watch him in action with this team. Apparently, he's someone that's very adaptive. He can change his play style um, depending on the opposition. And obviously, that's something he had to do with the squad he had at Bournemouth. He had to be adaptive because he really didn't have a lot of strength in that squad. Now he does. I think he has a dynamic team that can be creative and make it fun. And I think that having a dynamic manager can really play off that. And apparently in conversations that he had with Wolves, that was one of his notes that they really liked is, he's very analytically minded. He'll understand our players, their flexibility, and then what we need to do to match the opposition with a team that seems like maybe they already have a style coming into the season. That's something he can adapt to and roll with. But I'm thrilled. I'm happy that Lopetegui has gone, and I wish it would have turned out better. I wish that, he would have stuck around, he would have believed, and he would have wanted it. And even against these FFP restrictions, I wish that he could have stuck around. Well, I wish he would have wanted to stick around, but because he didn't want it, that's enough for me. I want someone that wants to be here. I want a squad of players and a manager that respects this badge and that respects the club and that believes that we can make something out of it. Even if we're not the best team in the league, let's have some passion. Let's play with some ferocity. Let's be the Wolves. This is a team that I feel there's been a lot of times in its history where the Wolves have had teeth and they've had grit. And I feel like that this is our chance to show that. This is this squad's chance to bring that fire back, grit their teeth, get into it, and prove everyone wrong. So it's an interesting story. It's been very dramatic to watch this whole thing play through. Obviously, I feel a lot of passion about it. That's probably coming through in the way I'm speaking about all this, but it's been weighing heavy on my mind. But I think we're in a good place. A lot of people have counted us out, but I like where we are. Even if it's an uphill battle, even if we're fighting relegation, I feel like this is a team that can have some heart, and I back them 100%. I back Gary O'Neill 100%. I back these players 100%, and I think that they can do it. We're probably not going to hit Europe this year, but I don't think we're going to hit relegation. And I think that we can still be a solid team. We can have a good season that's still fun to watch. I remember watching Lodge's season. It was just depressing. It was hard to watch games like that, just rather than playing to win, playing not to lose every week and just never scoring goals. It was just sad. I don't know, sad to watch. But I think that even if it's a chaotic season, I feel like this could be an amazing time to be a fan, and we can fight like we got nothing to lose. So anyway, those are kind of my thoughts and things that I've heard about this situation, and at least the way I've interpreted things as they've come loose. I don't necessarily want to put blame on anyone on how and why this is happening. I think it was a good situation that went bad, or maybe it was a bad situation from the beginning with everything that happened. But I think that Fosun is now looking to pivot, and I feel like it's a pivot in the right direction. Even if it's a step backward to take 2 steps forward, I feel like this could be a good move for us. So here I am in the USA, across the pond, hopeful, sending my Wolves the good vibes, and good vibes to everybody over there in the UK. love this organization, love this team, love these players. I already love this new coach. I'm going to get a face tattoo of this guy. But anyway, I ranted long enough. It's been a long video already, but thanks for sticking with me and listening to my thoughts. I hope I was able to give you guys something useful and maybe at least help, vent some frustration, but maybe feel a little passion, because I feel very passionate about this, and I'm excited to see what comes next. Sometimes change is good, and fingers crossed that this is one of those times. So thanks again for joining Wolves Across the Pond. I look forward to seeing you again very soon.